Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be harvesting all the soybeans on the entire map on Hutan Pentai. It's October, we've got every field ready to harvest, it's all soybeans, and it's all double fertilized, ready to go. And looking pretty good if I do say so myself. Let's get some equipment. We do still have the two Fendt 1050s and the white 8810 from earlier when we cultivated and planted everything, but now we need our harvesting equipment. Alright, and for the equipment we have a Kloss Evian combine, and then we got a little trailer on the back of the white. We've also got two New Holland CR11s with some larger trailers on the back of those Fendts, 50-foot headers on the New Hollands, of course. And now we need to get a silo system set up here, because I don't think these two little grain bins are going to do very much for all of the grain on the map. So I'm going to sell these little decorative sheds and this greenhouse here, and we'll put a silo system just right here on this pad. And this one holds 2 million liters, so surely that'll be enough. Just put it kind of angled a little bit so it's easier to get in and out of. And here she is. And as has been the case for all of these videos on this map, I'm going to use this road here to separate the map in half. And then one of the big combines will start in field 2 and work his way down. One of the combines will start in field 3 and work his way up. And I will be in the third, smaller Kloss Evian, picking up the tiny little fields dotted all around the map. Unfortunately, our silo system is down in the bottom left corner of the map, so it's gonna be quite a long drive from up in the top right for these fields, driving the tractor all the way down to the silos. Not great, but it could be worse. If you're new here, don't worry, I will have the links to the first few episodes of this kind of series in the description. This is the third episode. We cultivated all the fields on the map, then we planted all the fields on the map in the second video. This is the third one where we're harvesting everything. We will also sell all the grain to see how much we make. And I have been keeping meticulous record of how much we've been spending on renting costs for the equipment, on paying the workers, and how much time I've been spending down to the minute doing all of these fields, because I want to tell you guys if it's worth it or not. And most people don't have the time to spend 20 plus hours farming a map on Farming Simulator to decide if it's something they want to do. So that's why I'm doing it for you. Anyways, I'll get these going as a time lapse for about an hour or two, and since I expect this to take more than 10 hours, I'm not going to record a time lapse of all that, so you guys will just get a progress update, or if I find some sort of game-breaking glitch or something that I discover, because that seems to be the norm, I'll shout it out. Alright, let's do it. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, the entire map is harvested, except for this teeny tiny little scrap I missed up there. I'm not going back. Maybe I will, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. About 7 hours, I think? I don't know. We'll get the exact numbers later on. I am keeping pretty good track of that. And we will also know how much grain we have at the end once I get this trailer and this combine back to the farm. I will spoil it a little bit. The first silo I put down does not hold everything, so I do have to use the silo that comes with the farm, but that's no big deal. All right, let's get these back to the farm and we'll talk numbers. All right, let's talk numbers. First off, the amount of grain we got was 902,610 liters, and that is worth an estimated $2,009,784. That's a fair bit. That's quite a bit there. In terms of the renting costs, when we cultivated, we spent $230,235. For planting, we spent $156,712 on the rented equipment. Fertilizing was $14,498. And then, of course, $37,084 was the rental price for the tractors between fertilizing and harvest. And at harvest, we spent $332,596 to rent all the equipment. In terms of workers, for cultivating, we spent $6,707, $8,358 for planting, didn't spend anything on fertilizing, and then for the harvest, I spent $16,251. In terms of time spent, cultivating took 3 hours 40 minutes, planting was 4 hours and 8 minutes, fertilizing took me 50 minutes, and harvest took 6 hours and 42 minutes for a combined total of 15 hours and 20 minutes. The combined renting costs was $771,125. The combined wage costs were $31,316. And that's a total money spending of $802,441 for a grand total profit of $1,207,343. That is pretty solid money for the amount of time invested. That's almost $100,000 an hour. That'd be a pretty good hourly rate if you can find you a job like that. While I did spend 15 hours and 20 minutes, the statistics screen says I spent 16 hours and 14 minutes, so there is some time I have to set up and handle the logistics of this challenge. That's where that comes from. So, there you have it. There's your answers for farming the entire map of soybeans on Hutan Pentai. I love this map. It's a great map. I like it more than Riverbend Springs, and it took a lot less time and made about the same money, if not more. Definitely more profit. So I hope you guys did enjoy this one. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you got any suggestions for other crops to do this challenge with, or other maps or whatever. Anything you want, just leave a comment down below. I really appreciate you guys' support and feedback. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Peace.